Hi all, it's Karen and
Pluto!
here for Karen and Bluto's on another review channel with another movie review for you. I'm going to apologize up front. Bluto has a little bit of a cold and my allergies, sinuses, and everything are acting up. So if we're coughing, sniffling, sorry.
Maybe it's your cat.
Maybe it's a dog.
I think somebody needs to eat the cat.
No.
Okay.
So going into our wonderful movie we're reviewing with you tonight.
We're doing an awesome movie. Yay!
No, we're not. Oh. We are reviewing The Nun. 2018, rated R. I think it was like an hour and 41 minutes.
Really? I thought it was only 40 minutes.
I wish.
Oh, that's only how much I watched.
Yeah. Bluto didn't even get through the whole movie. And I actually watched it a couple weeks ago. We had recorded it off of HBO or Stars or something that was on. And I was watching it after being off work sick for a week. And I wanted to hang myself. At one point.
The beginning.
Yeah. I literally paused it and I'm thinking, oh, we have to be at least 40 minutes in. It was 20 minutes. I was like, are you serious?
That kind of movie.
Yeah. I mean, actually I was laughing because my one coworker loves this movie, kept telling me I needed to see it. And when I went into work, I'm like, oh my God, this is horrible. And she's like, no, it was good. It was scary. I'm like, it wasn't scary. It sucked. And she goes, well, it wasn't one of the better ones, but she was saying about some of the Conjuring or Insidious or whatever this correlates with. And I can't remember if I've seen any of those. I really like the Annabelle movies, which is part of this.
I remember.
Genre, and there's actually a new one coming out. I can't wait. I don't know if I'll see it in theaters.
I can.
Yeah. Anywho, let's go to this.
Let's get this done.
Yeah, that's about it. So basically, and some of this, I didn't write everything down because some of it at some point I was like, yeah, it was, to me, it was jumping around too much. That was probably one big thing I do have to say about this. And for this movie being about the nun, not really in it till towards the end.
I've seen better nun movies.
Yeah, the last 20 minutes or so.
Big here and there. Machine guns.
So anyways, it says at the beginning, 1952, the following occurs. So we're back in the 50s. And they start with these two nuns walking down some hallway. There's one holding the key, and there's a sign that said, God ends here. So the one continues, unlocks this door, goes in. The other one starts kneeling and praying. The one nun with the key comes back. She's all bloody, try to give her the key. Eventually she gives her the key, I think, and the other nun gets pulled in. We're assuming she's killed. So the nun that was praying gets up, hurries up, tries to lock the door to keep the evil in. Because basically the nun or something that was going with the key basically said, something along the lines like, if I die, it's up to you to make sure the evil doesn't escape.
No pressure.
Woo! Anyways, I don't know if she's able to lock the door or not, because this movie was kind of dark at times, so it's kind of even hard. And literally, yeah. And literally, I'm my TV is probably about as far as I am from you guys right now when I'm watching this. And I'm like, what's going on? Probably didn't help. I was watching it in the dark though, too. Excuse me, guys. So, anyways.
You can't see my pretty face.
Yeah. Anyways, the door ends up flying open. The other nun's running. She's holding the key. She climbs onto a window ledge with a rope around her neck. And basically she says something like, God forgive me or something, and she hangs herself. So this kind of comes into play later. I can't tell you that much. So we go to the next day, and there's this random farmer that brings food and leaves it in the tool shed or something near where this church is at. I guess nobody really comes there anymore.
I would if there's food.
And he finds the nun hanging, and she's covered in crows and everything else. So okay. I think I have the farmer's name written down later because he's in it a little bit more.
Vincent.
No, I don't think that was his name.
I'm not sure now, really.
Okay, so we go to Vatican City in the next scene. There's I have random religious members discussing the nun's suicide. And that's basically what they're saying. She committed suicide. Why did she commit suicide? They're saying if this gets out, faith in the church will decrease. So the one father, I don't remember if I wrote his name down, he kind of does these investigations for the church when stuff when odd stuff happens, I guess is the best way to put it. And they're saying, well, you need to connect with this other sister. Okay. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulty for some reason.
Are you sure we're going?
Yeah, we're going. It's still recording. So, the nun. I'm so fixated on the nun. The
Oh, wow. I see movies like that.
the priest, father, whatever the heck he is, goes to London, England, and they're showing pieces at this. I believe it was an all-girl religious school, and the nun that the sister that's supposed to be his contact, she's like making fun of religion and creation and like because the girls are saying, well, dinosaurs can't exist because they're not in the Bible, and she's kind of
Wasn't that at the beginning?
no, it was after it was near the beginning, but yeah.
I do remember that part.
Yeah.
Oh.
So she's kind of, because I know a lot in religion, they say if you believe in creation, you can't believe in, oh no, it's discussing,
You're confusing me.
Darwinism, I think. I can't remember.
What's that? I don't know.
That
You're using complicated words.
That we spontaneously came from fish or something. I haven't taken biology or science in many years, so.
Fish?
Yeah. Something like that. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. It's been forever since I've taken a science class or anything. But basically, she gets ordered by the Mother Superior to accompany the father to Romania, where they're going. So next thing, we're in Romania. It goes to the farmer. He's having a nightmare about seeing the nun hanging and evil stuff and all this and all that. So the father and the sister, that sounds really funny. The father and the sister show up at his door to kind of question him about what he saw and what happened. And he explained he was delivering supplies when he found the nun. And then they've convinced this farmer to take him to the church setting, nunnery, whatever it is.
Nunnery?
Yeah, get thee to the nunnery. Sorry, now I'm quoting Shakespeare.
Never heard of that.
Yeah, nunnery. That's where nuns live.
Okay.
You've never heard that. Look at us learning something today. So, the farmer explains the only way to get there is by horse and buggy, which is how he got there before. So they load up on his horse and buggy and start off. And the farmer's talking about how the locals say it's cursed. If they talk about it, they spit afterwards, superstition type stuff.
Oh.
And the father or the sister, I can't remember which one, says they need...
Father or sister?
The father, who's the religious people.
Oh,
because I don't think the sister's officially a nun yet, because it comes out that she didn't take her vows yet, and she's young. She's only like 20.
You know what kind of church that sister went to?
What?
None.
Yeah, really. So, anyways, the big thing they're talking about is they have to determine if the grounds are still holy.
You mean they have holes in them? Like when
that is holes. Religious, still protected by God, and all this fun stuff. Watch Supernatural. You learn a lot about religion from that show. Anyways, somehow they say something about the body is still there, because I think one of them asks, "Well, where's the body?" And the farmer goes, "I moved the body to the ice house so the crows wouldn't bother, and that's where he was keeping the food."
He froze her.
No, he just called it the ice house. It wasn't like cold or anything.
Oh.
But then when they get there, the nun's body is laying down. And the farmer goes, "I left her sitting up." So they're kind of like, okay, was somebody else here and moved the body? So they find the key and they're like, okay, we got to figure out what's going on here. And then in the middle of all this, they determine they have to give the nun a proper burial. So or the nun that committed suicide a proper burial. So they end
up... What's a proper burial?
Well, because she was still above ground and she wasn't below ground, and given like Catholic or
I've seen
whatever
people
blessing.
Be buried above ground.
Yeah, but I guess they were just saying that proper burial. This is 1952. Who knows?
Oh, we're still in 1952.
Yeah, we're still in 1952 for the whole movie until the very, 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 very end. So, anyways, they go into the church, and they're commenting about on the steps. The blood was still wet, and she had died like several days ago, I think. At this point, by the time everybody gets back there. So they start going wandering the church. They're asking if anybody's around or whatever. Well, they eventually find this one nun in the one room sitting by herself, and she says that she is the Reverend Mother. Um, and the father's going, well, I want to speak to the nuns, the sisters here, because I need to figure out what happened and why this particular nun committed suicide. And the Reverend Mother goes, well, you can't talk to them tonight. You arrived too late. They take a vow of silence from sundown to sunset, or sundown, same thing, sundown to sunrise. So, but she offers them lodging for the night in the convent. So they're like, okay, so the father and the sister that came with them they're going to stay, and they tell the farmer to come back in a couple days or something, and to pick them up. So he leaves. Well, no, he's trying to leave, I should say. He starts going out, and then he sees a nun outside the church. So he starts following this nun, and here she is pulling a noose with her behind her. So he's trying to go on, finding. Eventually, he finds the nun hanging from a tree. It falls on him and starts to chase him. I said starts chancing him. That tells you how well chancing. I put chancing instead of chasing. Tells you how much I was at that point. So eventually, then nobody's around, so the farmer leaves. The father and the sister that are left behind, nun, are talking about what brought them each to religion. I know I can't remember what brought her to religion, but the father had done a failed exorcism in the past at one point. Are you bored?
No, I'm just seeing myself.
Yeah.
I'm listening. I'm confused, but I'm listening.
Yeah, but apparently, I don't know if that's what brought him to religion, but he's just talking about the reason why he started investigating a lot of the stuff. I think was because he tried to do an exorcism with a child and failed, and the child ended up dying, from what I gathered. And then I have on here, random things occur throughout the night. I mean, there's just noises and this and that. At one point, like at 3 o'clock in the morning, the father gets up and starts investigating around, and he goes out to the grounds in the graveyard. And I forgot to mention this when we were doing the proper burial for the nun. A lot of the graves still have bells on them from back when the plague was prevalent, because then, if they thought somebody was dead and buried them and they were buried alive, they could ring the bell. So several of the graves had these bells still.
I thought they used mass graves in the plague.
I don't know. Might have depended on what part of the country they were, or because this was more of a farming area, so there may not have been as many people.
Yeah, I guess.
Who knows?
I'll just throw them all in a hole and cover them up.
But eventually, while he's out there, he somehow gets pushed into one of the graves and buried over. So he starts ringing the bell, trying to get, I can't remember the sister's name's attention. So she's going out, checking on things. Eventually, she gets out to the graveyard because she hears the bell ringing. Well, once she gets there, all the bells start ringing. So she kind of stands still. I don't remember if she starts praying or what, but then she's able to find what grave the father is in, and with her bare hands digs him out. Actually, I jumped ahead. I was oh.
You just want to get this over with.
Yeah. Before he fully gets out, the entity, the nun, kind of attacks him in the coffin and scares the crap out of him, basically.
That'd probably be pretty stinky in the coffin.
Yeah, so eventually he gets out. They're talking about the powerful evil presence, which they understand this demon or whatever it is that's taking on the form of a nun is in, and they're like, we don't know what to do with it. As they go back in, there's more blood on the steps from where the nun earlier hung herself, and they kind of make a comment about that. So they said they have to go back in and talk to the Reverend Mother. Well, then that's the part where I was saying they were kind of cutting back and forth a lot, because they're cutting back to the father, and then they're cutting back to the sister, and then they're cutting back to the father, and I'm like, can we just stay with one of them for more than 30 seconds?
You know what's one they stay with?
Huh.
Nun.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sorry, I'll stop the nun jokes.
Yeah. Bad dad jokes 101. So anyways, it cuts to the farmer at the local bar, and he's talking to the bartender, and the bartender's going on about
Sounds like you're making him a joke.
Yeah.
The nun walks into the bar.
No, a farmer walks into a bar, yeah. So, the bartender makes a comment that it feels like there's more evil leaking into the town from that place. And he keeps saying, you need to go get them out of there. And of course, he's spitting after he's talking. So, I guess they had to put that piece in, so to speak. So basically, at some point, trying to look here.
Following this because I sure ain't.
Yeah, like I said, this thing was all over the place. So at some point, the sister that accompanied the father, and that's why I feel bad because I didn't write names down. I thought I did. She runs into one of the other nun sisters, whatever you want to call them, and they're talking. She was like trying to talk to them and find out what's going on, and they're saying about but a duke built the castle and did evil things there, and then the church took the place and closed the gates of hell. Now they have open, and the nun is not one of them. So they end up they're planning on leaving. Well, here because of their investigation, they end up getting trapped inside till sunrise because the gates are locked at sundown. So I have in here, the evil's out of control and attacking everyone. I honestly can't remember exactly what was happening at that point because, like I said, it was just kind of like all this shit started happening at once. What?
Uh-oh. The more you talk, the more confused I get.
Yeah. I'm looking at my notes like, what? Well, the farmer ends up coming back in to help. He ends up saving the sister that went in, that was speaking with, because she found all the sisters and they were supposed to be praying against the evil, and all of a sudden all the sisters are getting killed. She's in there by herself, and then she kind of comes around and there's nobody there. So, some point I have here, the evil nun shows and tries to burn her. And what they figure out is the nun that committed suicide was actually sacrificing herself so true evil couldn't take over her body.
Well, that was nice.
It wasn't suicide. It was, hey, I'm going to save the world. So, they discuss how they need to seal the gateway to stop the evil. And then the sister says that she wants to take her vows prior to stopping the evil because I think she feels that's going to make her stronger. So they do the scene where the father is doing everything, taking her vows, which I thought was kind of weird. I don't know how that whole thing goes. You feeling okay?
Yeah, I'm just listening.
But I thought it was kind of strange. But anyways,
your whole description of this movie is strange.
Well, like I said, it jumps all over the place, and you're trying to figure out what's going on. And
watch the movie The Gates of Hell. Watch that movie.
Yeah. So
it's better.
They figure out the gateway is in the catacombs, so they're going in trying to stop it. All three of them, and they get separated. At some point, the evil takes over. The son. Oh my God! The evil nun basically takes over the sister that's there because she's the only live female, I guess, for some reason. Somehow the farmer gets the evil out of her. I don't even remember what happened. I think at one point she was drowning. He started doing resuscitation. Like I said, I don't even know what was going on at this point. So they're talking about at one point how they need the blood of Christ to close the door, and somehow they get it. Like I said, totally different.
Where do you get that?
Yeah, they were talking about the blood of Christ in a couple spots, and
where do you get it?
All I kept thinking of was Demon Knight.
Yeah, I ripped off that movie too. Watch The Gates of Hell.
But eventually they start to fight the evil. They get the door closed. They leave the ground saying it is now holy. Somehow they bury all the other nuns. I don't know if they found their bodies or what was going on. And as they're leaving, the farmer scratches his neck, and he burnt upside down cross
like
shows up. Yeah. So at the end of the movie, it says it's 20 years later, and they're in Massachusetts. So this is where the Warrens were. 72.
So I was trying to do math in my head.
Before my time. The Warrens are given a lecture. Oh my God, between you and Dave today at work, picking on me about my age.
Well, you just had a birthday.
This weekend.
Tell Karen happy birthday.
2 days before it. But
Yep.
so the
46.
Warrens are giving a lecture, and they're talking about this possession that they were trying to help with, and here it ends up being the farmer. And I don't know if the father and the nun sister were part of the exorcism piece they were showing or not, but they just showed his, which I kind of figured out once they said 20 years later. I'm like, yeah, the farmer's possessed. And that's pretty much it.
Hope I don't take a quiz on your notes.
Oh my God.
You
Like
literally,
like I said, it jumps around so much at certain points that you're like trying, and believe me, I was paying attention.
I wasn't.
And I mean, I was just trying, I'm like, okay, I'm trying to force myself to watch this so I can do this review for you guys and tell you guys
Dedication.
not to watch it.
You see? Dedicated.
Like I said, it was the longest hour and 41 minutes of my life, probably. Will not watch this again. I mean, sometimes I will rewatch a movie just to try to figure out if I missed something. I can't even figure out what I would have missed in this movie. It was just, like I said, especially the scene where they're going to the cemetery and it's going to the father and it's going back to the sister inside the convent and it's going over here and it's going. It was like, really, can we stay with a shot for like longer than 30 seconds? And then, like I said, at the end, when like she got possessed, I wasn't even exactly sure how that happened.
Pazuzu.
Yeah, I mean, it was, and that was another thing. It was so dark again at that point. It's like you figure with all the technology and everything that we have with our movies today, stuff wouldn't be so dark.
It's dark and deep.
I mean, it's like,
and thought-provoking.
I mean, it's like literally, I feel like if I was even up against the TV screen, I wouldn't have been able to figure out what was going on. So, like I said, if you want to see, like I said, I haven't seen any of The Conjuring. I might have seen one of them. I'm not 100% sure. Or Insidious or anything. I'm not sure if Insidious is part of this. I have seen both the Annabelles, which probably should review with you guys at some point. I do like those. I like the second one a little bit more than the first one.
They all blend together.
Yeah.
Like Paranormal Activity. I can't tell one from the other.
Yeah, I sit and watch Paranormal Activity. I'm like,
we're not doing those. Don't request them.
Request them to drive Bluto crazy.
How about watch it? It's your channel.
So, like I said, I think if you want to see anything, like I would recommend the Annabelle movies, especially Annabelle Creation. That's one I do personally like. Probably will do a review with you guys on that one at some point. But that is kind of it. Do you have anything else to add, Bluto?
I recommend The Gates of Hell. Watch that movie.
Did we watch it ever?
I don't know. I saw it.
Oh.
Maybe you saw it a long time ago.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Watch that movie instead.
Maybe we'll have to watch it and review it and tell you, yeah, this one's definitely better.
Well, you don't like those Italian movies.
Oh, yeah, I have trouble getting through those sometimes.
Like Zombie.
So, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, bell icon so you know when we post new content. Share the page. It would be great.
You didn't have the bell in last one. So
no, I haven't been able to find a bell. I haven't been able to find a bell.
You made me look like a fool.
No, you do that all on your own.
That's why I'm here.
I lost my train of thought.
You're telling everybody to subscribe, like the channel, share the page.
Oh, yeah. Amazon wish list. If you guys want to check that out, help us send some movies. There's movies on there. If there's something you would like us to review and are willing to purchase it and send it to us, let me know. I will add it to the list. Like I said, we don't have a whole lot on there, but I mean, I do need to go on and add some more. But I think I'm also double checking to make sure I'm not ordering something we already have. And let me give a shout out that I appreciate. There's a couple of you that have been commenting and have been interacting.
She was so happy.
Makes me happy.
She had tears of joy.
I was just like, oh my God, I got somebody.
Yay, somebody fucking messaged me.
I was just like, yay, somebody's interacting. So we've gotten a few requests on there.
Yep, watch them.
I think we're going to do a vlog later, so I might talk a little bit more about that then. So,
a vlog? I didn't do a vlog yet.
No. You might. I think you did over my other channel. But we haven't done a vlog on this channel yet, so I don't know how often that will happen here or not. But I figured there's been some requests in that, so I want to talk about that a little bit. But that is it. Do not watch this movie. I'm saving you an hour and 40 minutes of your life. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.